Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to everybody on behalf of the Textile Association of India, Mumbai unit. I heartily welcome Mr. Avinash Bapat, who is the concept creator and founder of Capximize India Private Limited. He'll be delivering a lecture today. A brief introduction of Mr. Bapat. He is a chartered accountant and holds a degree in law. Mr. Bapat has a vast experience of about 40 years in the manufacturing sector. He is also well known in the financial services industry for various landmark financial structures. We are very privileged to have a speaker like him today with us. Mr. Bapat has been associated with pharmaceutical, fine chemicals, consumer products, infrastructure, and renewable energy space. This has led him to a deep understanding of nuances of manufacturing sector, including need for optimal utilization of capacities with improved return of investment at the worker. This is also a topic which is very dear to the heart of somebody like me, an out-and-out operations people, because we have spent all our life working towards optimizing efficiencies, optimizing fresh quality, ultimately leading to cost competitiveness and ultimately becoming more and more competitive in the market. It will be a learning for us also from Mr. Bapat today. I'm sure that Mr. Bapat's in-depth knowledge of and experience will guide all of you on optimal utilization of manufacturing capacity. I'm sure that the lecture will be highly beneficial.
Thank you very much, and very good afternoon to all of you and all of them who have joined through the web. So let me just first tell you only one thing, that I'm here genuinely to share what we are trying to do, and I'm not going to give any lecture. So it is not a lecture. It is share personal experiences as well as what we have tried to achieve by creating this platform. So the name Capximize itself, what we have decided is the capacity maximization. I think what is really happening is that all of us who are into business, we have invested our money, invested our capital with a certain expectation that our capacity use will be so and so, and that is how our ROIs are worked out. There are government attractiveness which comes, you have state incentives, somebody says attractive Telangana, somebody says vibrant Gujarat, somebody says this, that, and everywhere the industrialists go there, set up capacities, and eventually at times it happens due to various reasons. But the capacity utilization that is anticipated versus actual, there is a gap. And one needs to really understand that how do we improve that capacity utilization, which has right now a big amount of available capacities. I think while I was coming in, I was just trying to see some of the recent updates. And one of the things which was really little shocking to me also was that over the period of between 2019 and 21, the textile sector, and today we are only talking about textile, and I'm not going to be talking about other sectors. But if you really see that our capacity utilization was as high as 72%. And if you take last year, our capacity utilization in textile sector has gone down till 52%, which clearly means that there is a substantial amount of surplus capacity in the sector, which could be due to, as I said, various reasons. It could be COVID, it could be market situations, it could be anything. At the same time, the another, I won't say very encouraging point that I saw there is that the import in textile grew by 53%. Now, this is a kind of a dichotomy that one needs to really understand that why this is happening there. As I said, reasons can be multiple. All of you in the textile sector know it well. It could be due to lack of demand, or it could be due to logistic, it could be due to tax regimes, it could be various reasons. But the eventual fact is that there is a surplus capacity and that needs to be utilized. Now, one of the things that we are basically Capximize, even if you see the tagline, what we say is collaborate, coexist, and co-elevate. Now, collaborate primarily means that you need to get basically additional business. And the additional business is possible, no doubt, provided we have a right visibility to the global market. I think as a country, we have a bunch of exceedingly intellectual, I'm seeing many of them here already from the textile sector. And at the same time, what happens is many of the companies, I would call them into the medium-sized organizations. And nowadays, the government definition of medium size is also 500 crore turnover kind of companies. But what is really happening is that do we have the visibility to the global market to attract the people to come to India? Capital is becoming most expensive right from day one, and it is even expensive today. So primarily, can we do CapEx to OpEx? That's the thought process. Why do we really need to add installed capacities and create new facilities when the existing facilities, if they are available, of course, there are various parameters, whether your product line is the same, whether your quality is the same, whether your deliveries will be on time, whether whatever. There are multiple nuances that one needs to go into. But the primary feature that we felt is that Indian manufacturing sector needs a global visibility. Now, individual companies can't be approaching everybody. So if there is a platform which can give you that visibility to the global market players, that will be something which can bring additional business. See, at the end of the day, everybody in the business is wanting to improve the ROI. And that is by way of, as sir just now said, and my apologies first that I need to acknowledge firstly the presence of all the luminaries like Mr. Gupta here, Mr. Ranjan here, and my apologies for delayed acknowledgement of that. But having said that, because when I heard about the word luminary, then I said, oh, I have not made that mention, so I'm sorry about that. I know the names that I knew, so I just took the names and Mr. Nigadikar. And so what really is the objective of this platform is to make available the information, Indian manufacturing capacity and surplus capacity in India for the global players or even for the domestic players is a black box. Because the people know it's not something that we have never done, whether contract manufacturing, you name it, third-party manufacturing, you name it, getting it manufactured outside, you name it. But do we really have the data? Do we really have a curated information about what capacity? Now, very honestly, the first 2 years of this activity, I have spent only and only understanding and learning how manufacturing capacity gets defined. What is really a manufacturing capacity? Now, how does the sector gets defined? How the subsectors are included in that? Each subsector, what are the processes? What are the machineries? What are the compliances? What are the capabilities? Now, for we have been members with various chambers of commerce, and one of the important point, including FIO, and one of the point, and for the benefit of all those who have joined through web, I think one of the things that was coming out is that all the chambers across, we have been with the EU-India Chamber, Indo-German Chamber, Indo-Dutch Chamber, US-India Chamber, and all the chamber members are saying that even whenever our members overseas, they ask us that, okay, we want to manufacture, say, resistors or capacitors or textile or pharmaceutical or chemicals. He said, we don't have that information. What we have is just a list from various associations of the companies which are in that broad sector. So suppose just example, if it is a textile, they don't have the further breakdown company-wise as to which are the companies, what are their capacities, do they have surplus capacities? If they have, then what kind of machineries, what kind of capacities they have? Are they ready to look at a third-party manufacturing? There are multiple issues. So what happens is all these companies, whoever have been coming through the chamber, they tell the chamber that, okay, you have given us the list. Now it will take us 2 years to do the due diligence to find out who is the right partner that we can have. And number two is that it is strange, which I will take you to the next slide. See, recently, what is happening is that I was also quite surprised. This is one of the large corporate, a German company, which is very recently, this has come as recent as day before yesterday, that they have moved their sourcing to India from China. Now, this is a pleasant news. And one of the main reasons that is happening is the sourcing security. The world after COVID has moved 2 years back when I was meeting people in the European side or towards the ASEAN side. Their common complaint used to be, oh, your capacities are so tiny that we can't really look at India for capacity use. Today, the same entities are saying that, okay, we don't mind even picking up 10% of our sourcing from India rather than depending 100% on single entity. So that has made a big change for us. And if I see really as to what is happening is that today, of course, luckily, the present government is really pushing the manufacturing sector, and they want basically to get the manufacturing sector contribution to move from the existing 14-15% to at least 20%. And that's a key driver right now. And towards that, the sector selection that we have done, I won't get into the other sectors, I'll stick to textile. But even there, if you really see that the target, these are the Government of India targets as published by Statistica as well as by IBF. So sector-wise, if you see, these are all the figures in $1 billion. And these are the kind of growth that the Government of India has put to these sectors. So what really is that, what is the driver of Capximize? If you see the driver of Capximize, it's a very strange thing that our GVA of the country last year was $440 billion. Okay. Our capacity utilization, unfortunately, June 21 was as low as 60%. Now we have moved with other infrastructure sector booming up, cement, steel, and all that. These are national level capacities, not individual. But they have now moved till 70% as recent as December 2021, 3 months ago. But at the same time, if you see the disruptive opportunity, because even if during COVID, if you see the countries like Brazil, Vietnam, and all that were at 83, they have now gone much ahead. Whereas a 2% capacity utilization increase in India will add $8 billion worth of value of goods. It's very simple. Your GVA is at 440 billion. And even a 2% capacity increase, if we are able to achieve, it adds $8 billion of value of goods. So that's the kind of capacity that we have. And the most important is that this capacity utilization increase does not need any of your new capital expenditure. You might need some balancing equipment, but not nearly new capex. It also saves substantial amount of time, because for setting up any new plant, all of you are into business, so I don't need to say that. People might say, or government may say one-stop shop, but then we realize that there are some 280 approval that you need to set up a plant. So it's not something that you can do it overnight. Whereas if you have a ready-to-use facility, which is meeting your parameters, and without any capex or time loss, if you can utilize that facility, why not? And that's something is what we are trying to drive. And towards that, what we really need is the substantial amount of visibility to Indian manufacturing sector on a global scale, Indian scale as well as global scale. So what do we define? We define Capximizer is somebody who has existing surplus capacity, which is only India centric as of today. So we have the Capximizers, which are only India centric. And the Capximizes can be global. That is the one who is looking for utilizing capacity. So that's the primary definition in terms of Capximize is Capximizer, Capximize. Of course, the benefits are very, very evident, but still I will just, for the cost of repetition, but I will add there, everybody is looking for new and additional business. Who doesn't want it? And that additional business is requiring a global visibility, because companies which are really having capacities, going through a lot of tough times, they have invested their own capital. They are borrowing money at a higher rate as compared to many of the AAA rated companies, with all those efforts that they're putting in. And if their capacities are not getting fully utilized, then that is one of the points that they can improve is by getting additional business, towards which we definitely need them visibility. I was in, I'm giving just a small parallel to auto component sector. I was in Pune with Maratha Chamber. And one of the thing I asked when the people were very excited about it, ki, why are you feeling so good about the platform? So one of the thing that came up is that any of the automaker, if you take, he has 50, 60 top vendors, which are known to them or whatever you call them. But below each one of them, there are not less than 500 other vendors and who have no visibility. Their dependence on that one OEM or one market segment is so much that they have no options but to continue whatever they get. So if we are in a position to offer visibility to those capacities, they were saying that we can look at multiple options, which was one of the things. The how it works is absolutely simple and straightforward. As a capsimizer, for all the associations that we are tying up with, like yours, the registration is free. You just upload your capacity details. The platform has been designed by a company from United States. They have made the UI UX in such a way that nobody will need more than 15 minutes to upload the details. People get very sick and tired if you have to fill up some 30 pages forms, or you have to spend one day or half a day in completing the information. So what we have done is we have broken down the sector into subsector, subsector into further subsector into processes. So if you are in a particular segment, you only need to upload your details in that segment. Those are also parameterized, because take a case of textile. Everybody is extremely scared about sharing information many a time. There is a change in the generation thought process. I would say that the new generation said that, look, till the time I'm getting new business, I don't care as to how I get it. And I'm ready to look at digital space for doing additional business. But to maintain that confidentiality also, what we have done is that no company name is ever uploaded. Any company, you might be Siemens, or you might be some Vijay Electronics in Sangli, and you might be headquartered, might be somewhere else. Each one gets a 12-digit UID, a simple unique code, and you are all through known by the unique code. There is no question of anybody feeling worried. There are sometimes clusters. Like in textile, there are so many clusters, whether you take Tirupur, you take in Ahmedabad, you take Surat, everybody is known to each other. Nobody wants to know, Arey, I have surplus capacity. Tomorrow you will think that, oh, my colleagues will start thinking I'm not doing well or what, etc., etc. So various people have various apprehensions. So this is a pure UID number, so nobody knows anything about it. The algorithm also has been designed in such a way that every single touch point is touched by the algorithm before it recommends the right partner for you. So giving an example, if you are sitting in Sweden and you want to look at some capacitors to be made, all information in the UI UX is parameterized. So it is not specific. So if you are doing, say, in textile, your count might be a specific, and you might say that if somebody knows I'm in 39 count, he will know I'm so and so. So what we have done, we have parameterized it. So in the selection process, somebody sitting in Korea wants to have denim fabric, he will be in a position to see the parameterized information. Then when he goes for specific, like recently we have a particular query on the platform, and there are people who are wanting something like a fairly large 50,000 kgs of a particular fabric. He wants a cotton linen mixed into so-and-so ratio and a count of so-and-so. So everybody says that, how do I get it? So he then started searching on the parameters. So I will just quickly show you how we define the parameters, so that will help you to understand as to what we are doing. We also have developed the ecosystem partners. So not only the surplus capacities in India are made visible, our ecosystem partners have various things like the association, DD agencies, bankers, law firms. All of them are around the platform, which is what we use there. So just to give you an example now, because we are talking about textile, let's talk only about textile. So I'm not wanting to take it to other. So broad basic areas that we have divided, this is not sequential, so please don't go as per the sequence, but divided into whether spinning, fiber, weaving, knitting, processing, garments. You go further, then further divided into whether it is polyester, viscose, cotton. So from the fiber, how it goes further. So if I go back and if I say that, okay, I'm into the business of fiber, he doesn't need to really go down and start looking for how he upload his capacities in fiber. He can go, he will always have the next option available to him once he clicks on Fiverr. What are the areas in which he will be? Then he will. So all areas we have taken the efforts over last 2 years by basically having people who have spent all their life on shop floor. So everybody, every sector, every subsector, we have taken the advisors in such a way that their life they have spent on this space and on the shop floor. We have not taken anybody who has been sitting in the head office and managing either the cash flow or managing the marketing, but we have taken the people who have actually spent their life on the shop floor, whether it's chemical, whether it's textile, whether it is anybody. And we have asked them that if you had to offer your capacities to somebody, what are the things that the guy will be looking for? Or if you want to underwrite somebody's manufacturing capacity, what are the things that you will be looking for? So let's prepare the UI UX in such a way that all that information is made so easy and lucid to upload that it should become easy, number one, to upload. And at the same time, for somebody who is searching for that capacity, it should be very easy for him to just go only and only to that segment and see on a live scoreboard as to how many companies are matching the requirement that he's looking for. Further subsector divisions, like if it is cotton, polyester, wool, lycra. So I'm not wanting to get into each and every aspect, but if it is a garment, then we have further broken it down into areas of this kind so that anybody who is either a capsimizer or a capsimizee, he is only picking up this area, sector, subsector, and the range which he is involved with, so that there is no time loss for anybody. Take case of knitting, and you all are completely into textile side, so I don't need to repeat, or I don't want to tell anything which is not known to you, but I wanted to only suggest as to how the information architecture has been designed and why we say it will not take more time for you to upload your details. At the same time, for anybody who is searching for capacity, he goes specifically to that segment, and then it becomes easier. And that's where I called basically the knowledge repository that we created over a period of last 2 years. Number two is the curated data. I think today what is really required is the curated information and curated data, not only about the sector, but about exactly your manufacturing capacities. And that's what we have tried and made the attempt to do it. Same way for spinning. So I'm retaining the slides for half a minute so that those who are joined through the web, they should be able to also understand and appreciate as to how the breakdown has been done. This is for weaving. So giving you the feel as to you don't really need to get to, when I say textile, you don't need to get bogged down that you will need to go through some hundreds of forms. Number two, your information also is fully encrypted. Number two, every time when you want to enter the platform, you have a standard OTP going on your phone, OTP going on your email. You cannot view any information other than your own information. So all those regular precautions which have been taken already. Right now, I can say with a little happiness that though we entered actually going into the market only as recent as January 2022, because people were telling me, of course, earlier, why don't you go and start with one sector? We will get this, we'll get that. But I said, unless and until you're confident that the information architecture of yours is complete, your algorithm is working properly. So we did tens of thousands of test runs with the test data to ensure that the algorithm is recommending correctly by meeting all parameters. It's very easy to say that, what is the surplus capacity? I have surplus X number of spindles for what, how they'll be used, what are the kind of parameters on which they are utilized. So all that has been checked, and happy to say that we have actually corporates, nearly 65% of our members are the ones who are having available capacities. No doubt it is not only textile, it is for my platform, which has got the first 5 sectors as I depicted. And they are not small guys. They all are having aggregated turnover of nearly 30,000 crore. So there are large corporates also which are looking for business opportunity. There are international players who are looking at having a pan-India option. The pan-India option criteria is required by Indian players also. Large Indian corporates are looking at a pan-India option. International guys definitely are looking at pan-India option, but even Indian corporates are looking at that. There are actual transactions right now going on onto the platform in each sector. And those are actually interesting, which are coming up. The platform features for any and everybody, whoever is more on the tech-based. I need to give you the feel as to how the platform has been designed. The simple thing, like I'm not a tech guy, but admitting that, I would say that whatever precautions I've taken is other than encrypted data, other than OTPs and all that. And many a times as a common man, we don't realize, but let me tell you, every OTP, and if it is a domestic, also cost you around 15 paisa per OTP. And if it is international, it is much more. And there are lakhs and lakhs of OTPs which keep going up, down. But unless and until you have that kind of mechanism, you can't build a security network. So that was one of the point. Number two, we are using the API integration like a GST integration. So the moment you want to get yourself registered, you just put your GST number. It will pop up the name of your company, your address. In case there is any change required, then you can get back to us. But otherwise, we don't want any kind of entity to come in which is not a honest entity. So we allow them to enter purely by entering their GST numbers. So like this, there are multiple features. It is cloud-based platform. So the availability is 24/7, 365 days. So there are no time restrictions. We have built the regular kind of firewalls, the tenant-based design. So all those normal features which any and every banking sector uses, we have tried to use that to ensure confidentiality and secrecy of the data of the people who are on board. So what we are going to be doing going ahead, yes, we are using the artificial intelligence, machine learning, not only to analyze the behavioral pattern, but also some of the application that we are coming up with is proximity matching type. So many a times what happens is that you might be looking at one very specific kind of requirement in your manufacturing. And you might have something like, say, 37 only companies on a pan-India basis, which matches all 100% of your requirement. But you may be interested in knowing that, okay, if not 100%, are there more number of players where I can get around 90% matching? So what we are trying to do is that, so therefore creating the kind of rating analysis of the members so that those which are matching 100%. Now, sometimes you might say that, look, in the terms of chemical, there might be 75,000 chemicals which might be used by resin guys and other guys. They might say that, look, I don't need necessarily SS reactor. I don't mind a glass line reactor, or I don't mind a SS reactor, not necessarily with 5,000 liter capacity. I don't mind with a 3,000 liter capacity, or in case of your textile business. So what we are going to be doing is that we are getting into what is called as proximity matching, that your requirement might be 100. If there are players, more number of players who are matching 90%, can we get there or no? The ecosystem participants is the key here, because even as a platform, for us, we'll give you a small example. I mean, MSME ministry, I was with them and I was asking them, how many manufacturing units are registered under MSME? And I was quite shocked. I did not know myself, because normally I knew that, X number might be there in manufacturing. 1 year back also, in India, there are 1.96 crore manufacturing companies which are into MSME. Just think of the size. The size is so mammoth. And MSMEs are all actually proprietary driven companies, mainly. They are not typical MNC corporates, but they are the ones who are actually the backbone. Because whatever we might say, we will say make India global hub. Now, you have a huge amount of capacity available in India, which is a surplus capacity. Why can't we first utilize that? Because every 2%, if it is going to get you $8 billion value of goods, then what we really need is to enhance capacity use. And if Brazil and Vietnam can go up to 83%, Japan can go up to 95%, why not India? We have got all the big PLIs and everything. I'm not having any doubt about it. They're good schemes, but realistically, their basic criteria is you should be at least 1,000 crore company. Now, look at the ones who are at 500 crore or 600 crore or 400 crore company. They are not small, but do they have the opportunity to add new business without they being known to the world at large? So that's the whole purpose of the platform. It is strange, but there are, in my just 5 sector, there are 346 manufacturing associations in India. Regional, and I'm not counting the CIIs and the ASSOCHAMs and the IMCs and FICCIs. Other than that, regional manufacturing associations are 346, each one having membership right from 200 to 2,000 and 5,000. But these are the association. There is a goal congruence between them and us, because the association's objective is also to help its members to grow their business. Our objective is the same. And so actually I call them as our marketing arm, because they are the ones who want to help their members. Their members are the ones whom, for us, they are either Capximize or Capximizer, but they are our members. Same way the banking sector. It's very strange. We talk about, as I said, whether it is Make in India. The second phase is that you have got 350 million youth, which is educated youth. Now, where is the employment going to come from? You have a huge disguised employment in the farm sector. But unless you move them from farm to factory, these 350 million people are going where? Manufacturing is the only sector which really can absorb large employment. Textile is the most attractive sector in the whole of segments that we have selected, is the one who can consume a lot of manpower, and there could be a good employment opportunity. Look at the third problem that we are facing today, is the financial system. Now, if your capacity utilization is down, your ability to service, whether it is your debt or whether it is your loan portfolio, the banking sector will just pull the rug the moment you are not in a position to service. Now, you might need actually the banking help most when you are in difficult times, but their problem is that they can't give you that extended help. Now, this sector is reeling under so much of potential fear, because there are so many medium-sized companies. If they don't get that additional business and if they don't get that capacity utilization increase, it's not too long when they will have their difficulties in the financial portfolio. So even if you look at a macro level, you need a platform which can address this global, making India the global hub for employment and for the financial system improvement. So 145 commercial banks are registered with RBI, 145 banks. Now, if I take this just 1.96 crore MSMEs, which mean that there are 1.96 crore bank accounts, which are there as the corporate accounts for these guys. And how are they going to be addressing this issue? When I meet some of the chairmen of the bank, they say, boss, we have no solution right now. We are just wanting it to be improved. But wanting it to be improved due to what? Additional business. How do you get additional business? So our objective is to bring additional business to Indian manufacturing sector, plain and simple, coexist and co-elevate your ROI. Our memberships are with some of these kind of association. Primarily, this slide is only and only to give you a feel that it is something that we are giving and we are doing it on a global scale. We have been very, very encouraging response from each and every chamber of commerce. I was there in Expo 2020 in Dubai in the last week of March. And when I was meeting people there, one of the things that came out very clearly is about the same point, is that yes, India is very good. India is right now attracting big attention thanks to the efforts of our Honorable Prime Minister and his statements pertaining to making India a global hub. But they are saying, where is the information? We don't know who is there. Other than the, could we say 5,000 listed entities which are known to the world at large. Nobody knows about the second, third, and fourth. Everybody knows about only those 5,000. So the objective of the platform very clearly is to get the right visibility to the Indian manufacturing sector, bring additional business. And from a Capximize perspective also, let me tell you, because many of you might be wanting to expand your business, having good amount of order book in hand, but you don't want to realistically right now go and incur additional capital expenditure, take some new loans and do that. So do you have a pan-India manufacturing capacity options known to you? What is known is that at present, if you're doing with some 2-3 parties, acha, we continue with them after 2 years, you might renegotiate the rates or you might renegotiate the contract. But is there anybody who gives you an information on a pan-India basis as to what are the opportunities available? Same is the situation with the Capximizer. And let's be honest, all of you are into business, so I don't need to repeat, but quickly telling you is that when you are utilizing your capacity maybe at 60% and you get additional business to use additional 20%, you're mainly getting into marginal costing. Your cost competitiveness is bound to increase. Now, that is something which is your trump card today. I always feel that this kind of illiquid asset by way of defined as in surplus or unutilized capacity, why not monetize it? Why not to use that surplus capacity at a marginal costing, and you can get much better returns on your investment, what you have done so far. Same way, if you really see geographical expansion. I was talking to somebody from Chennai, and during the COVID time, he has something like a sachet of a throat clearance called Samahan, very effective kind of product. And I said, sir, but then why don't you grow? You are available in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, but why not to other places? So he said, no, but I am not interested in putting up new facilities, and the time that it will take. I am happy. And at the end of the day, what happened? The result is very, very, I won't say unfortunate, but result is not what we will desire it to be. But he went and just registered himself on Amazon. So now his product is available to everybody, but on a platform. So just imagine if he had his ready capacity within India and he wanted to geographically expand without worrying about this capital cost and the time loss, he could have easily done it. So my limited point is that even from a Capximize perspective, who is wanting to use it, other than the options, let's be honest, world is definitely looking at carbon emissions. And why am I putting that point here? Is that maybe equal in terms of textile, but far more in terms of chemicals and others. If there is a factory which is situated in Ankleshwar and going by the tanker, the chemicals going till West Bengal for export to Korea or anywhere, the kind of carbon that is getting emitted on the way is humongous. And we have the calculator and we have done the calculation. It can give nearly 978 units of carbon emission reduction for every 50 kilometers that the tanker is traveling of chemical. Now, there are further opportunities of logistic optimization. Now you look at, I always appreciated and admire the Parle biscuit group. Now, if you see into a remotest village also, you will always get that Parle-G. It's a baked product, just simply paper wrapped, but you will not get a powder of Parle-G into any pack where you buy. You get it very well. So the whole game is that make where your market is. And that's the philosophy that we want. Somebody told me that you are basically Uberizing manufacturing capacities. I said, call by whatever name. I am making it virtually available to the world to utilize Indian manufacturing facilities, and which are parameterized, which are made into curated data, and which has got a base of knowledge. So that's where I am. And thank you for all the time. Yeah. So can you just do that? So we will just quickly show you as to how the information architecture is. I know nobody has the time of more than 3 minutes to look at the video. So we have made one is a small corporate video we will run, which is of 2 minutes, which will talk about what I was saying. And then there is a 3-minute small video, which will give you as to how the information is filled up. And if it is in case of textile into, we will pick up 1 or 2 sectors so that you will get an idea. So that's what it is.
Capximize, making Indian manufacturing capacity through her driven technology platform, resulting in improved ROI. Objective of the Government of India is to make India a self-reliant and global manufacturing hub. We at Capximize would strive for optimal utilization of capacities, resulting in business growth, increased employment, and improved loan portfolio. With Capximize, you can flexibly be a Capximizer, meaning capacity provider, a Capximizer, meaning capacity consumer. As a Capximizer, you have surplus manufacturing capacity. The platform helps you find the right partner to enhance your business opportunities, resulting in higher capacity utilization and improved ROI. As a Capximizer, you may be located anywhere in the world and are looking for pan-India manufacturing capacity options. The platform will help you to improve the effective cost of production through discovery of surplus capacities. You can continue to focus on your core competencies such as research, branding, global expansion, whilst the production needs are met through the recommender system on the platform. The secure cloud-based platform with its proprietary algorithm will use artificial intelligence to recommend the right partner for you and execute smart contracts on blockchain technology. To get started, register for free, upload your capacity details, which will be kept masked and confidential. Capximize will help you execute long-term capacity underwriting contracts. Capximize will transform the global manufacturing landscape with enhanced ROI at the fulcrum. Collaborate, coexist, co-elevate.
Thank you.
Capximize.
So now we will just take you through a small demo in case of textile as to how the information is uploaded.
Just show the dashboard.
Yeah. So all of you people, this will be very, very standard for people who are like us. It might be slightly Greek and Latin, but what we wanted to demonstrate is very simple. Is the detailing in terms of information capture is what was important. So what we have done is that we have tried to see that as much information that is required for you to either select a partner, whether you are in a position to have all these facility, all these approvals, all these kind of things, not only the machinery, what kind of type you make, and they are all being kept into range bound so that there is no specific unless and until you go further. And when you get shortlisted by say a entity from either India or outside India, that's the time when we will be in a position to get you the additional requirement of information, whatever is required by both the parties. So first and foremost, just wanted to say I will be very happy to answer whatever I can, though very, very sector specific, I might be having my handicap in terms of answering, but on the features, I would be more than happy. Please, very importantly, that it's a platform. And as a platform, we are definitely looking at going of getting at least in the range of 5 to 6 lakh corporates, which would be the members on the platform, which will give all these corporates a visibility, both domestic and international. We are not here that we are taking a specific kind of a manufacturing order, doing that order and doing all the, implementation of that. This is the platform which is giving you an opportunity to get additional business by having a curated information about your facilities being made available to everybody. At the same time, maintaining the confidentiality, maintaining the secrecy, and try to do our best in terms of detailing it out. So I'm more than happy to first and foremost, thank you very, very much for Textile Association of India to giving us this opportunity to showcase at least what we are making our efforts to do. And hopefully the kind of encouragement that we are getting it from most of the people, including the government, has been very, very encouraging, and hoping to add more and more facilities and more people who are looking for facilities on a pan-India basis. So please feel free, whatever is the question, whatever I can answer, I'd be happy to do that. And all those who have joined through the web, extremely grateful for taking your time and listening to what we are trying to present and what we are trying to do for you all. So Please note down even the website, the registration link, as well as contact us link. It will be definitely our pleasure. Anybody having any specific query also, please write to us and we will immediately revert to you with all what we can. We have, as I said, experts from each sector. So the sector expert can answer any of your technical queries, any of the operational queries. We all are there and we would be more than happy to answer. So there we are. Thank you very, very much. Sure, sir. Please. Yeah.
The entrepreneur wants to approach. Of course, now we know some information through this lecture. How do they really come to know about your platform? Second way is, supposing they come to, like you already talked about Singapore and all that. I can tell you when we were conducting the cluster development program, it was under UNIDO. We were trying to catch up the entrepreneurs from different clusters. Like, Inchil Karanji Beaver used to get yarn from Madurai. So we are make contact point and all that.
Correct.
Now that was the classical approach. Now here it is more on database and then linking and all that. Now how do they really get to know and then start? I'm starting from 0 point.
Yeah. That's very, very nice. I mean, yes, of course, what we are trying to do is that, yes, making this awareness kind of firstly about the, secondly, we are going the digital route in any case. We are available on LinkedIn. We are contacting it through Facebook, WhatsApp, all kinds. Number two is that we are now, right now, as I said, that we are India centric. That is manufacturers from India, consumers can be from anywhere. In phase two, of course, we are going to go global with global manufacturers, global use. As of today, our reach is, as I first mentioned, the 345 manufacturing associations, where we are wanting to inform the members of the association what we are doing. So that's one way to know as to there exists a platform like this. Now, I will give you a small example. Our LinkedIn, on the page, we are getting more or less at least around 150,000 hits to know as to what we are and where we are and what are we doing. So one is that I would love to share one very classic example as to where digital India is going. I was in a place called Mandideep around 15 days back in Bhopal. It's an industrial cluster. I wasn't aware, very honestly. I went there and we had around 120 corporates who were there present for the conference. And the funny part of the digital India is that I was so shocked. We were wanting to have some tea, coffee and all that. And I was asking my guy that, look, boss, I haven't seen the tea vendor. What has happened to him? So he called up that guy. Just imagine in a place like Mandideep, 8 kilometers away from the highway, this is an old man who has got in Indian context called like a tapri, a small kind of shed making tea. And he tells my guy, just send me the live WhatsApp location. I'll reach in 5 minutes. A 65-year-old tea maker in a place like Mandideep said that just send me the live location and I'll reach. So that's where the digital India has reached. And your point of awareness is what we are trying to reach out to people through the digital route. Because the other route is that go to press and give the advertisements and things like that. But at the same time, I think the interest looks very attractive because I'll give you a small example. Last 8 days back, I was in Hyderabad and we were addressing a similar conference of FTCCI, that is Federation of Industry and Commerce in Telangana. Now, all of a sudden, I was just talking like this and there were some 4 or 5 TV guys who walked in and started asking for a bite. And the next day I hear that there were 10 channels in Telangana who were blaring about Capximize. Now, suddenly there is an awareness bite which suddenly propped up. Similar thing happened in Agra, similar thing happened in MP. And so what we are trying to say is that, look, this is the platform, just make use of it. We are not saying that we are going to get you this and we are going to get you that, but we are giving you a platform by which you can access additional business. That's the primary. So go ahead, sir. Next.
Mr. Aras online has some.
Sure.
questions. He has a doubt.
Go ahead.
Mr. Aras, if you can unmute.
Yeah. Good afternoon. First of all, congratulations. I think it's a wonderful concept. But few things I would like to bring to your kind notice that, you mentioned about 1.96 crore MSMEs in India.
Yeah.
On one side, the corporates are building huge capacities, and on other side, the MSMEs are underutilizing their capacity. The same is the case in textile. The big names you see, they are heavily investing because they have easy access to capital. But there are many medium and small scale spinning mills or weavers who are underutilized because they have even issue of working capital. Now, I think if we can connect all these people together, there is no need to use new capital for building capacities. Rather, PLI scheme can look for building international champions where big wigs can build capacities and export. But for local consumption, I think still the industry is having very low utilization of machinery. Only one question now with this background is that who will assure the quality?
Yes, sir. If your question, I mean, you have been actually championing our cause, I would say that by exactly saying what we are doing. Sir, what happens is that if you notice one of the slide of the ecosystem partner, because sir, to be honest, a platform is the one which is going to get you the maximum opportunities. Now, with say 4 lakh, 5 lakh members on the platform, if I have to get involved into the implementation of the physical contracts, it is not going to be feasible. But at the same time, what we have therefore done is that right from the technical due diligence agencies to expert panel available on the platform, so the contracts will be bilateral. And those bilateral contracts are very, very essential for a simple reason. As a platform, I cannot be involved in thousands of transactions and their fructification. But what I'm giving you is a contract availability between the two entities who are needing each other. So I'm a facilitator to get you together. Now, once you are together, your primary objective can be whether I can provide you with the ROC data of the client, where his financials or whether there are any legal matters, who are the members, issues like that we will share. We will have a panel of technical DD agencies, commercial DD agencies available. If you want to use them, you can use them. You want to have your own, you can. But today, the platform is primarily getting capacity availability known to the world and giving them a pan-India option of utilizing available capacity. And as you very rightly said, it's music to us also that when India has got such humongously large available surplus capacity, why do you need to block for the capital, for the time? Why can't we use it? And as I said, 2% increase in capacity use equals to $8 billion worth of value of goods. So at least in the first stage, sir, to be very honest, I just mentioned that we are going to be rating the members who are coming on board, and give us some time when what we will be doing it, that we will be doing this hand holding and we will be doing the actual even getting involved in the implementation of the contracts. We would definitely support you in terms of whether it is logistic, whether it is banking. The other point you have touched upon is the large corporates getting much easy access to capital market or to the banking sector. And that's one of the key points that we are driving by having 145 commercial banks that we are approaching. We are also telling them the same thing, the huge amount of disparity in the cost of money also, the huge amount of disparity in availability of funds, timing of the funds. And we are trying to create this kind of the overall ecosystem partners where we would be able to address those points. But to answer your question in particular on the quality side, as I said, that the parameters will definitely, if you go through our registration link, and even in case of textile, majority of the information pertaining to the ability of that unit in terms of approvals, in terms of its existing client base, in terms of these QA/QC, data maintenance, all that information is uploaded. But if you ask me whether I would be involved in implementation of the contract, I would be upfront and say that at this stage, no. Maybe a year down the road, once I have the rating availability of each of the member, that's the time we would definitely get involved. But right now, we are only getting the members who are needing each other together, facilitating a contract option available to them, giving them the entire infrastructure to do their requisite DDs, helping them in terms of even financial intermediary support. But that is where my present limitations are, sir.
Thank you very much. Just one information for your sake.
Sure.
There is already one digital platform in textile becoming very popular called yarnbazaar.com.
Yes.
It brings the buyers and sellers together. And I was amazed that this is a startup. I was amazed that last year, this financial year, they did 250 crores worth of transactions between buyers and sellers.
Yes.
So there's a huge scope for digital platform to increase the business. Here we are using capacity instead of commodity. So best luck to you. I think we need such kind of progressive platforms for the producers and the people who seek production to come together.
Sir, one more just point I will add here that we had retained IIM Ahmedabad as one of our strategy partners along with Cyrus from US. And one of the things that came out very interestingly is that we are into manufacturing capacity options availability. We are not in product, as you rightly said. And the question came up is manufacturing capacity always sector specific or can it be sector agnostic? And the answer that we are getting is that it is sector agnostic. Giving a small example of auto components. Now, if somebody is making casting, now today he only and only thinks of auto component as an additional business opportunity. But if he has a surplus capacity in casting, we can find the consumer for him who might be, for all you care, making a wind turbine where the casting capacity is required. So we are basically making manufacturing capacity sector agnostic. There are certain sectors like textile. I can't, but like in Agra, when I was there, one of the things came up is, sir, you are not included leather. I said, but leather, ultimately, what are the machinery that you're using in that? Whether it is cutting, whether it is this, whatever, other than the tannery part. But those are the ones which might be available with the existing textile mills, or you might be in a position to offer it to them. So our objective, sir, very rightly said by you as a platform, we want to make it sector agnostic because we are not in product. We are only dealing with manufacturing capacity and available surplus manufacturing capacity. So
Thank you
I
very
just
much.
thought I'll add that.
Great. Thank you very much.
So my humble request will be that please visit our website, please visit the registration link. You are not going to incur any cost in that. Just upload your details. Our endeavor all through will be to get, and always, as you all know, more number of options are available, more number of Capximizes are wanting to look at those options. So you might be a Capximize, please have a look, go to the link, go to the website. And if you have any specific queries, feel free to contact us anytime and we'll be happy to assist, happy to share whatever we can.
Sir, one suggestion.
Sure.
Since you have so many associations registered with you,
Yeah.
I come from textile machinery background. So there is an
Sure.
association called Textile Machinery Manufacturer Association.
Sure.
The current utilization is low for many reasons.
Yeah.
But they have very good fabrication capacities, assembly lines, and also manufacturing. They have plant manufacturing machines. You should approach these people because I think their capacities can very well be used for other industries also, like automobile or any engineering components manufacturing, which
Correct.
they might not have contact with.
Thank you so much, sir. And we would definitely love to approach them. Sanjeev, just make a note. So we would be more than happy to approach them. Like yesterday, I was in Ahmedabad and it was very strange that there is a sector which I never even thought about, that they make those packaging bags for 1 ton. And there are certain chemicals, they make the bags with the valves. And that business alone is around $1 billion from India. So there are, as you rightly said, sir, there are so many, sectors, but the limitation is that unless and until you have a knowledge base and a proper, UI UX designed so that the algorithm can match the two requirements. We are just not wanting to expand. There are a lot of pressure that we got from food and agribusiness people. They are saying that, look, I mean, there is so much and so much availability in India, and why are you wasting time and not joining us? So we said that, yes, we will be doing it soon. But every sector addition takes at least a year, to be very honest, because there is so many nuances of each sector, their subsector, their machinery, their processes, their combinations, to get the right experts to design it, and then to get the algorithm to match it. It takes time. But we are on the move, sir, and we would love to have all the support from all of you. And it will be a privilege to have you guys as the members of the platform. And thank you very much to all of you from Textile Association individually. And sorry if I missed somebody like Sav's name, I missed out, but my apologies. But thank you very, very much for all of you who have joined. And please feel free, just go to the site, look at the site, go to the registration link, register yourself. And we will only try and seek. You don't have any cost to that. And we will see that we will try and get you more and more business opportunities from Indian as well as global markets. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we are concluding the meeting. We are